So thank you so much once again, Samaji, joining us from Saudi at this point of time. It's you already know that the platform of RISO is like cutting across the boundaries, to cause you most sociological relevant explanations and narratives to in order to hone up, in order to sort of cause more development in our ongoing society. That's the reason you're on board with us. We are very much glad to have you. And you have your specialization, you've done your PhD in marine ecosystem and many other sub micro specializations. You will be briefing us up on those possible dimensions and possibilities, and we are there to listen to you. And before, just want to brief you up at this point of time. The title also we're going to be covering, it's like microplastic in our oceans, unseen threats to marine life, which is certainly, I would say, from climatological perspective, environmental perspective, is very important and sensitive topic. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again joining and touching this relevant topic at this point in time. So would like to move on to my first question, which is certainly an important question, is what are microplastics and how do they enter marine ecosystem?
First of all, thank you so much for giving me this golden opportunity to share my expertise with a lot of people. And to address your first question, first of all, I would like to go with the very basics. I hope that's okay for you. Because a lot of us know plastics, and microplastic is nothing but, you can take it any material. It could be water can, it could be a polythene cover, it could be anything. When it is meeting with the nature due to the corrosion or due to the some other, chemical elements that happens, it could be anything. And it breaks down into small particles or small pieces. Then that particular particles of the plastics we are addressing as a microplastic, and which is very small in size. It could be in the size of a bead. It's very small, like a rye. It's very, but we can see it with our naked eyes. But there is something more dangerous, another one, which is called nanoplastic. We cannot see with our naked eyes, but it has been degraded, and it has become very tiny particle where we can see only through the microscope. These kind of harmful things that enter into the marine environment via a lot of things. One is through sewage, like a lot of the waste, right, that we in the home itself we are generating, but it is going through our sewage where it is not plastics. They are trapped into the ecosystem, and they are flowing through the sewage, and they are ending up into the oceans, especially during the storms and sometimes during the rains, runoffs. These kind of problems are happening. That's how our microplastic is ending up in the ocean environment.
So much for letting us know on this important question, like microplastics and how do they sort of enter the marine ecosystem. It's important. Now, I would like to move on to my second question. It says, how do microplastics impact marine life and the food chain?
This is very important question. Thank you so much for bringing it up again. See, as I addressed in a very short way, in a nutshell, I explained like how it is going on. But the may big, right? And it starts with the corals to the tiny small fishes to the big fishes like whales. What is happening when a new body is entering into the system and it is not even visible? It is very small in size. It is up to the 5 microns. It's very small, like a bead size. And fishes, especially like crustaceans, like shellfishes, like prawns, these krills, these kind of fishes, they think that this is their food. And they try to eat this kind of microplastics. So they end up having this kind of toxic elements. First of all, they are having the indigestion, and these are the very small organisms. They cannot able to digest it, so they end up having their lives. A lot of the creatures are losing their lives. Apart from that, even though if there are some kind of medium to small fishes, they are okay with it, but they're having different kinds of problems again, which is related to the indigestion. And apart from that, even though if it is mixing with their blood cells and it is altering their DNA, actually. So it's not only that. As a human, we used to intake fishes, right? So even the crustaceans, intaking of these kind of foods are also getting toxic to the humans, so that it is in a long run, this is nothing. It will be like very small amount of plastics you can find it in the animals, but as days goes by, if this keeps on continue, whatever, if we cut open the fish, we can see only the plastics, nothing much, no veins, no nothing, plastic everywhere. But it's very threatening that even nowadays a lot of researchers are showing up. Even in this USA, we have the recent study by 2025 February that a sample size of 182 fishes has been taken. Among them, when they try to do the open and cut surgery, 180 fishes, including small fishes and crustaceans, they are having this microplastics within them. So imagine, like, it's not even a 90%, it's 99%. So in taking these kind of things, it is altering with our system, our immunity, our reproductive organs, everything. It is altering our DNA. So it seems like microplastic is everywhere. Everyone is talking about it. Why only affecting the marine, ecosystem? Because land is limited. Marine ecosystem is very vast. So once that is getting threatened, then there is a big question for the humanity. What will happen to us in the future? So that is why we feel very threatened with this microplastics. We say mother's milk is very pure. Even mother's milk is contaminated with the microplastics. So the problem is like the microplastics not only move via food, we are even inhaling it. So that is the threat we are having in this community. And this is happening because of the corrosion. It is not only because of you used this kind and the corrosion happened, the chemical element. This is very scientific terms. If I put it in a very quiet way, it is more like, even though if you try to burn something near to plastic, the plastic is getting burned. Even it doesn't mean, see, we know our Indian government has like a lot of rules banning the single use of plastics, which is a very good initiative taken by all over the countries. But yet, even the thick metals of the plastic, the polystyrene and these kind of harmful chemicals, when it is getting burned, it releases toxic chemicals, and we are breathing that micro, that even within the air, this microbeads is going into within our system. So that's where the problem is, and it is dissolving with our blood tissues and blood vessels. It is passing within our body, and it is very danger to say, but it is true that it is mixing with our blood cells and causing cancers and a lot of hormonal imbalances, which is a major problem right now, and totally altering our DNA. So this is the danger we are living in with this microplastics. I hope I answered you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for letting us know on this important issue. It's like really important. And you also mentioned that marine system is vast system. Once it gets impacted, and our planet is certainly limited. So what's going to be the consequences? We can certainly draw hypothetical inference and kind of narratives and can understand in a better terminology. Thanks a lot for this. I would like to move on to my third question, which is certainly an important question. Says, are microplastic affecting human health through seafood consumption?
Yeah, very sadly, but yes, that's true. I would not put it quietly in a way only through seafood. Every little food we are consuming, and as a major seafood lovers, yes, it is threatening for them. As I have what the problem of contamination happening because the fishes are intaking all this kind of microplastics, including the shrimps, the medium fishes, the small fishes, and we are consuming it. And of course, there is a problem. And the major problem, what are the things that they are intaking is like the fabrics. It seems very common and quick. It's like we are just using clothes, and it is ending up in our sewage through we use to wash our clothes, and the small fabrics materials, it is ending up in the ocean environment. And especially the krills, the prawns, these kind of crustacean fishes, they used to think this is their attractive food. They used to consume it, and it is getting entangled in their digestive system. And other particles that they are intaking is like small, pieces of polystyrene and um, styrofoam. I hope like everybody knows what is styrofoam. We use it within for the packaging materials. It seems very attractive and very spongy for these kind of organisms. They can't digest. They end up losing their life, even though if not in the cases of a big fishes. The problem is like we are intaking those fishes which is already toxicated. We unfortunately in India or maybe around the system, we don't have the quality control to check for each and every fish that we got. Is this having, toxic element or not? So it's good for the vegetarians that they don't have to worry about it. But unfortunately, world is a lot of people who loves eating fish, and yeah, indirectly they are consuming all these kind of toxic materials. So it is very sad to say. And another problem a human can have because of this intake is like hormonal imbalance. So it is not only with the fish. Again, I want to repeat it because whatever we are taking, it seems like I want to show one sample. This seems like very simple water bottle, just a plastic bottle, water in it. I might be consuming a lot of microplastics if I use the water from this. So it seems very simple, right? So ocean is a big thing, but it seems very simple. So the microplastics are getting into our system, and it is like totally changing our whole, what to say, the mindset, the DNA. People are getting like a lot of new diseases. And the reason is like somewhere it is the microplastic, and there are new types of cancer are arising. Somewhere the thing is like it is related to the hormones, and the hormonal imbalance happens because of some foreign bodies, affecting your immune system. And somewhere the reason is like the doctors used to say, the lot of studies are even saying your food system, it has to be changed, go organic. The reason is again the microplastics and nanoplastic. These kind of things which is very harmful. And the another issue, that happens is like, even though we can see the microplastic, but something is like when the plastic is exposed to the environment due to the UV rays or something like that, some chemical changes happens. Those the chemicals that get mixed with our food or even with our water, we cannot see it. It is so intangible, and we cannot see it. During that, we cannot even exclude. We don't even know what we are intaking. So it's totally impacting our system, and that's the problem, I guess. So it's a sad thing to say, and it does contaminate our human ecosystem as a whole, not only the marine ecosystem. I would say this is morely interlinked and interconnected. So this is a major issue, and right now a lot of researches are going on, but still nothing is enough, I guess. We need more thing to take care of this issue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important for us to understand that how, the microplastic affecting human health also through seafood consumption, and the way you've briefed us up, the narratives and explanations, they are certainly helpful for our audience. I'm sure once the publication is released as open library, the audience will certainly draw benefits by hearing to your perceptions and deep knowledge. Thanks a lot for that. Would like to move on to my fourth question. Again, important question. It says, what are the main sources of microplastic pollution in oceans?
To be precise, as humans, we are the one who is polluting everything. And especially it seems like a daily activities, like we are just washing our vessels, we are washing our clothes. But end of the day, all these kinds of small fabrics, all the degraded plastic materials, even during our skin care, there are some skincare material which is banned using sorry to say, it's the face wash, I guess. It was recently banned. It was, I don't want to mention the company. They use the microbeads. They say it's good for your skin and stuff, but it's not good for the environment. So they have to ban it because it is ending up in the ecosystem, which is totally affecting us. And another system is like, this is very small. The home wala part is very small. Other part is like the industrial effluents, we would say. Like there are a lot of industries, those release their harmful toxic chemicals without treating into the ecosystem, which is another major part where a lot of factories nowadays are having this issue. And it's thanks to a government, there are good regulations, systems are there to monitor these kind of things not to happen, but yet uh, microplastic is something, though it is got treated with the harmful chemicals, some things might slip up and it is again ending up in the ocean environment. So that is another biggest concern we are having. And these are the two major reasons, I would say, one from our home use and another from our industrial use. uh, uh, is there a remedy? Yes, but is it a solution? I won't say it's a solution, because see, what as a human, as an individual, what can we do in our homes? We can try to change it to the more biodegradable and sustainable product. But as industry, I would say like a consumer have to be little bit more aware, because demand creates its own supply. So if the demand for biodegradable products and all this eco-friendly products is there, I'm pretty sure the demand will be, the industrial use will be like limited, or it will come down use of this tough plastics, I would say. So this is what I want to, conclude this question. I hope I answered you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for letting us know on this important question, main sources of microplastic pollutions in oceans and how they are connected to us, how they influence our life as well. Would like to move on to my fifth question, which is a wrap-up question, but certainly very, very important question. We've covered these type of questions past tremendously, and it's how do microplastic interact with the larger environmental issues like climate change?
Yeah, it's a big it's a big topic, but yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So I would like to start it from the ocean. Like we know, ocean acidification is happening, as 30 percentage of the ocean is emitting the carbon dioxide, and due to this kind of chemicals, it get releases into the ocean. The oceans are getting warmer, and the life in the ocean is getting affected because of it. Because of the ocean getting warmer, our glaciers are melting, right? So it is the whole ecosystem, and it is surely affecting climate change, because it seems a simple small thing, but it is, everything is interconnected. So once you have the acid rain, and again it is affecting the vegetation, and it is affecting, like as a humans, we are having the crisis with the food, and there are a lot of natural calamities happening because of the unpredictable nature, and a lot of hurricanes and stuff is happening. So I would say like this whole thing is happening, it is interconnected, but if you see behind, there is somebody's reason, and that reason is the plastic. So it seems like the plastic is not the only one with the polystyrene, it is not a one element. It is a set of chemicals, and those chemicals that releases the greenhouse gases and all this kind of methanes and carbon dioxide, these kind of other gases, it got mixed up, and it is totally how to say, it's totally dismantling and changing the biodiversity of the ocean itself. See, most of the fishes, they are depend their lives with the coral reefs. Coral reefs are getting bleached because of the high use of the chemicals that are present in the ocean, and also due to the the higher carbon dioxide, methane, and sulfuric acid. These kind of the chemicals are impacting, and corals are getting bleached. Once the home of the fishes is destroyed, they are struggling to have this diversity. So though the humans are helping the fishes and these kind of animals to fakely create like man-made corals or stuff, But end of the day, though, that is not nature. Nature is always has its own presence. It is having its own room. So once it is getting corrupted and corroded, the shifting of the marine life is also happening. A lot of species are getting endangered, and the endangered species are no longer existing in this world. So that's how this kind of whole system is getting changed. So it seems like a small thing, but again, as I said, the whole food chain is getting disrupted because of one small thing. So I would say like it is a serious time to take action towards this, and it is the individual responsibility to go, think like, oh, so what I'm using this, it's not gonna, make a much difference. We should not think like that. End of the day, our whole planet. It is getting affected, and so we have to be a little bit responsible towards it. That's what I would like to conclude, and I would also like to conclude with one more thing. Let's take accountability and responsibility for the things that we are doing, right? So we use a lot of things in our life, starting from our brushes and your toothpaste or shampoos, which has a lot of chemical components in it. Let's try to reduce it. But how do we know what we are using and how much it is getting, ending up in our litters? There is something called zero waste tool. You can just record your daily activities, how much in a month, how much toothpaste you are using, how much shampoo you are using, how much litter you are generating. So as an individual, it seems like a very small thing, but if you record, at the end of 1 year, you will know how much as the individual you are generating a litter, as a whole society, as the whole family members, every society. If we do this, we will be aware like what we are giving to our lovely environment, so that at least we will take an initiative and a step to control it. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. Thank you so much for briefing us up on these 5 important questions. And individual responsibility, as per your words, is certainly very important, because that propels collectivism in our society, and we must be very much cautious and careful, like how we use resources, specifically when it comes to chemical use and things like that we use, and they in reaction cause devastating effects to our environment, to our ambience, and it becomes very difficult for the life to continue in a much healthy way. So you've talked about ocean climatological issues, marine system, and the topic was microplastic, oceans unseen threats to marine life. And microplastic, you've talked about its impact in marine system and food chain, you've talked about, and how marine microplastic is affecting human life, our health system, and sources microplastic pollution in ocean. What are the sources? These are important questions. And the final and 5th question was really certainly very important. Microplastics interact with the larger environmental issues like climate change. Thanks a lot for giving us this such a good explanation and narrative, and how we can understand. I'm sure that our audience, once listen to your podcast, this publication, they will certainly draw some benefits, though we've already covered some good number of publications like microplastic, marine ecosystem, and environmental changes and mangroves, and also this is one of the upcoming publication which will certainly give a further boost up in that particular domain we are trying to sort of cultivate and develop as a body of data. It may be quantitative and qualitative. Certainly you've reflected both quantitative and qualitative body of data, which is certainly very important for us in order to make it into a research documentation, which is going to be a record one. Thanks a lot once again appearing on this platform. LISO, as you're already aware, I've just briefed you in past also, LISO is a platform where we are trying to step through the noise to cause you most relevant and reliable sociological explanations. We cover climatological issues, marine ecosystems, mangroves, disaster management, human trafficking, human rights, gender issues, developmental challenges, and many other domain and dimensions we try to cover. But our overall strategy and methodology is to sort of look at a particular phenomena we are trying to address from a sociological perspective, from a sociological standpoint. That's the reason you're on board with us. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again joining us from Saudi. Thanks a lot once again for your preparation, for your presence, ma'am.
Yeah.